All right, we're back. Now, in the last couple of videos, I talked about having a vehicle profile. Once the vehicle profile is in there, we can add some channels. So we're going to start getting ready to, I'm going to start doing some VE tuning on this thing. So I need to add, come over the engine. All right, well, first, all right, so airflow. I need to add pressure ratio. And we'll close it down. I'm also going to add total airflow. All right. So, let's see, our pressure ratio is there. Our pressure ratio, yeah, no, I forgot to do this. Close it out. And I'm going to take my pressure ratio and then I'm going to move it down with my base volume and all that other stuff. All right, so I'll be back. All right, we're back. We're going to add 2 more channels. We're going to wind up needing these eventually. Do fuel mass, we're going to do cylinder 1. And then we're going to do injector pulse width 1. Alright. There's a reason for this. Now we're going to wind up moving these down. So I'll be back. Alright. So what we're going to do now is we're going to clean this up. Alright. Gonna go. We don't need math. And then what we're going to do down here, injector 1, and change it over, come over here, show parameters only. Now we just, our fuel mass 1, all right, and then what we got to do is we got to change this to 0.1, all right. And we're going to do injector B2, come over here, come back up here, engine, fuel, injector pulse width. Now, trust me on this. Gotta hit that one, all right? So we're going to leave that for now. Now, if you notice, they're all messed up, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to come up, we're going to save what we just did. And, you know, I got this one marked as that. Yes, I know I'm going to replace it. So then I got to come up here. And now I'm going to reload it. And they're readable now. All right. So, RPM, speedometer, they don't need to be that big. At least not for what I do or anybody in Logic. So we're going to go to gauge layout again. I'm going to come down to RPM. I'm going to come down to size. And I make them 6, for the most part I make them 16. 23.75. And then we're gonna leave it at 1.8 from the top for now. We'll make it 0.5 left. So that's where it's at now. Now I'm gonna come down to, like I said, I'm gonna do clean some of this stuff up. Map is at 110 from the side. We're gonna make it 0.5, so it's all nice and see how, like, you know, it's in line. Yay. All right, so now we're gonna come over. We're gonna do the same thing with the speedometer. All right. So now we're gonna start getting into setting this up for VE. Trust me on this, all right? So we're going to add a gauge. We're going to add a gauge. This gauge is going to be, come over here. Again, show only parameters backed by channel. I know, broken record. Come down to airflow. Come down to volume. We're going to load that one. We're going to come over. We're going to name this gauge B, VE 1. All right. We'll give our count 11. Because, you know, might as well. These are 1 point, we've been doing 1.8 from the top. I think 33.4, 33.5. All right, so 135, and we come down to our sweep. Make the sweep 270. And there, look, we got a cool gauge. All right, so now we'll go click this out. Let's go hit our log file. We'll open a log. Now it's populated because we recorded it. All right, now we're going to add this other lovely gauge. Come back over here. I know, broken record. Show only parameter deal. Come down to airflow, volume, pressure. So we're gonna make this. We're gonna call this P ratio. All right. So 135, 270. I'm gonna make it 25 from the top. We're gonna put it right under. So we put it right under there. All right, so our max is 1, and we're gonna make our count 11. All right, so let's exit out of that. Now, we're gonna quick hit our log, stop, quick hit our log. There it is. I just picked somewhere along the lines. Now, here's why I do this. We're at 2,000 RPMs, BVE for number 1. Yeah, we need to move that down. But anyway, 76, let's just call it 77 and a 75% P ratio. So we come over here, we hit our tune. We're already open to BV1. All right, so R. So there we go. 2,000 RPMs, 75% or 75 P ratio. So at 77 is what the computer says, right, or what the ECU is asking for right now. All right, so come over here, 75. All right, that's why I do that. So that way it's like a roadmap. All right, I'll be back. Alrighty. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to graph. I'm not going to clean this stuff up. I'll do a video on that later and explain some of the other shit that really needs to be done. Alright, so we add a table. Now we're going to click And again, broken record, show only parameters that we can do, you know, that are backed by channels. All right, wrong one. Got to come down here, excuse me. Got to come down here to fuel trims. We want LTFTB1 plus STFTB1. All right, gonna click on that. So now what we got to do is we got to do our column access. So we click on that, come over here, again, broken record, hit the engine, hit general, RPM. I don't bother with generic sensors like a lot of people do, because I do a lot of different, I make a lot of these just for stuff. All right, so we already have airflow VE1, VE bank 1 already opened up. So what we do is we double click, we come down here to column, we copy our labels, go back down to our scanner, come over here, paste them in, and we're going to come up here, click on our parameters, back by channel, airflow, volume, pressure ratio, and then we come back down to our tune, come over here, we want the row axis now, the P ratio axis, copy those labels again, come down, and then paste that in. This crap in here, we're not going to worry about that right now. All right. So since we already have this tune open, and I usually wind up naming these like bank 1 and bank 2. So I'll be back in a second. We're back. So what I did was I took my B1, let's go over here. I took my B1, I copied it, doubled it, equaled it, whatever you want to call it. Change my main parameter to total volume efficiency base 1. All right, that's the reason for this. So let's come back down here. So there's TVE1. All right, so that's what the average was. That's what the minimum was. This is, and then there we go. That's the maximum. Okay. So now, what are these numbers? These are the actual VE numbers that the engine gave, or the engine produced. All right. So now we come down here to, sorry about that. So now this is VE bank 1 for this truck. All right. So we've been talking about 992 at 70. All right. So 992 at 70 is 73. It's what 73 volume, 73 VE is what the computer asked for. All right. So go back over here. So we got our 992, and we got our 70, and that's what the engine physically gave it. So now when we come to B1, it's 7 points. 7 points higher than 73 is actually 80. So, I mean, there is a little bit of fudge room because, you know, it's not an absolute science. Anybody tells you this is an absolute science, they're effing full of crap. All right, so now what I'm going to wind up doing is I'm going to take this B1 graph that we created, going to come down, and I'm just going to copy what I need. 2976 is the highest RPM I want. All right, so I'm going to copy this. I'm going to come down over here to my tune, and then 2976 is my height. And then we're going to paste special by half. All right. So yay, now it's red. And then we do bank 2. All right. So I'm going to wind up loading this tune, and then we'll go from there.